Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast. My name is Samaria and I'm joined by my best friend and co-host.
Yosha.
And today we're reviewing Love is Blind season 9,
Hmm.
episodes 5 and 6. So if you are watching this season, make sure you subscribe to our channel to follow along.
Hmm.
Give this video a like and meet us in the comments to let us know your thoughts because I'm sure we all have many on this season.
Girl, are
Yeah.
are you still feeling the same way after these two episodes? Like you're just over it, or are you
Yeah, I
getting
feel even worse after watching these two. Yeah, I know.
really?
Honestly, this year they just haven't given us a good show with the
Mm.
Minnesota and the Denver. I don't know what their objective is. Maybe it's
Hmm.
to bore the audience, but I hate to say it, we haven't had an interesting season since DC. Now, that was maybe a little too interesting because of the things with Tyler, but I felt
Hmm.
like at least the other people on the DC season were interesting.
Yeah, I think maybe it lacks balance. Like there's a lot going on, but then there's no couple to root for.
Hmm.
And the editing and us feeling like we're jumping right into these people already being in love,
Hmm.
it's not well balanced, is how I'm
At all.
feeling. So,
And again, episodes, too many episodes for not enough content. Like,
yeah.
so sorry, I don't know if you saw this comment, but somebody commented something like, for a woman named Sparkle Meg, her personality sure is bland or something like that. And I was so tickled by that.
And I almost feel bad for her to an extent because she
Yes,
doesn't know
it's not
that
her fault.
the final cut was going to use so much of her. Even in like when you pull up Netflix and you click on Love is Blind, it's not
Hmm.
even her silhouette. So I feel bad for her that she's being shown so much, and I don't think that that's what she signed up for, but it could always happen that way. So
Man. All right, well, let us hop into episodes 5 and 6. This should go pretty quickly. All right, so episode 5, let's start with Brendan and Annie.
Annie, yeah, I think that's a good place to start, where I think he jumps in with asking her to give her decision a second thought.
Hmm.
And she's not here for it because it's kind of too late.
Yeah.
And my thoughts are you can walk away with neither one of these. Like, I understand wanting someone who's sure of you, who's
Yes.
excited, who's bringing the right energy. But I don't know. I think she's just going with Nick because
To
Brendan
go
was
with
giving her so little.
Yeah, I also was a little frustrated with Brendan here because I felt like she was clearly communicating, hey, you did not give me enough, you didn't reassure me. And he was trying to give examples of how he did that, maybe. But he was like, I asked you what color door you wanted. Okay.
And she said, we don't have enough serious conversations. We can daydream all day about the house that we want.
I'm
What does that
saying.
mean for our real life
So he
together?
should have just taken the feedback I felt and been like, oh, I didn't like from my perspective, I was giving enough when I did the dreaming conversation, but now I see, oh, that wasn't enough. Like, if you're serious about being in a relationship with somebody, you have to learn the way that they receive communication and speak to them in their language. And he just completely was like, well, I tried, which I don't think by anybody's standard besides himself.
I described him as nonchalant, and I stand by
Yeah.
that. Maybe it
Yeah.
was too soon, but I think it's a reoccurring theme with Love is Blind. Some of these people are almost playing it too cool, too
Mhm.
far into the process until they peep like, oh, there's some competition or someone else may be at play. Then all of a sudden they want to pour their heart out. He should have did it the day before. If he was really serious.
Yeah, which is crazy because they have competition from the very beginning. So, like, you have to bring your A game, and he did not.
But you know what I think it is? I think if you're the person that only has one connection left, I think for them that says enough. List, I'm locked in on just you. You're the one who's still on the fence. I'm all in. And so with him, Mike and Meg, these people who only have one, they lean too heavily on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, is that like a little insight into the actual dating world? Like
Maybe.
may,
I don't know.
maybe you're putting all your eggs in one basket and the person who is your basket has several other baskets of their own. I don't know. But yeah, I think he should have just accepted that he didn't communicate with her well and didn't give what she wanted. And I'm glad that she stood up for herself and was like, "You know what? No. You don't get to do this now." So,
Mm.
that was
Uh,
kind of the end of
Yeah.
them.
I
Yeah.
think she just asked him what changed, and then she ends up walking out eventually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right. Then the other couple that doesn't become a couple, Mike and Megan.
okay. Oh
So I
yeah.
have in their first conversation of this episode, they have like a more sexual conversation. He's like, "Oh, I could take you on a trip. Have you been to Tulum? Have you been to Belize?" And I just felt like once again it revealed a shallow connection between the two of them. Like it's all about what my money can get you, which I don't know if y'all have seen, but apparently Mike owes a lot of people money in Denver. Yeah, he
What?
does own properties, but like several businesses, like cleaning businesses, have come out and said when he wants to cut ties with you, like he'll stop paying. And so there's a whole lot out there about him and not paying
Oh,
people and
so
treating people terribly. Yeah, so
so he has money with brokey tendencies. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Wow.
he's
I
not
have not
above
heard
board.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, going with what we know now, I will
Yeah.
say his conversations with her obviously are very shallow, but I think he's trying to appeal to that part of her
Mm-hmm.
because I think it is important to her. Even her interactions with Jordan, we see I'm like, yeah, she's still, I think, focused on the material things. Even with their conversations, I feel like he's talking a lot about, I don't know, what our life could be, and I don't know, just the romanticization of it all. It's
Mhm.
not, in my opinion, serious enough for how far along they are in the process.
Yeah.
She says she has strong feelings for him, but at this point, at least in their first date, she's still on the fence. And at this point, I say, okay, this will be interesting to see how he handles this.
How did you think he handled it?
So when they got into the second date, I got a sense of, I don't know that he really wants her because something about Mike Gibbs, he doesn't like being in competition or second place.
Hmm.
But I think I felt like he would do enough to win her, but I wasn't convinced that he really, really, really wants her.
I think he's over her at this point because in their first day when he says, "Well, I'm just gonna put on my shoes and leave," I think he really wanted to leave. I think, and honestly, I think he has every right to leave. Like, you know, at a certain point in the process, if you
Yeah.
haven't been picked, it's okay for you to leave. So I was
Even I
wondering
was
why.
getting annoyed. Girl, pick one.
I mean,
I'm tired of
how
seeing you on my screen.
but yeah, then he's like, "Oh, I'm just I'm just testing you a little bit." But something that was funny to me, there was a song that was playing during their scene, and
Mm,
it was obnoxiously loud. Like I could barely hear what they were saying. That's how loud.
mm.
And it was like, "I want you to want me" or something like that. I'm like, okay, we get it. Like the song matches the situation that's going on. But yeah, I think he was really hurt that he's not the top choice and that she's not convinced about it. I think it hurt his ego.
And because he knows more about Jordan, at least from his perspective, he's like,
Yeah,
really? With
this
this
guy.
guy, I'm in competition with him. And
Yeah.
so he does say, I'm putting all my cards out there. I'm in a very vulnerable position. But after a while, I just felt like there isn't really much else to say. And I wanted to see if he was going to continue to lay it on thick because I don't know, I felt this shift of him being more in competition mode
Hmm.
just to
Hmm.
win than him really wanted her. I would have respected it more if after that second date he was just like, "Okay, I'm done."
Yeah, he wanted to win her over, and then he was gonna treat her back, like almost punish her for it. That's how I saw it going. But he writes her this sweet note, and then she pretty much ends it. She's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, this isn't gonna work for me." And I said, "I know he was mad. I know he was mad that he was so vulnerable." And
But
she
it
turned
was
him
up
down.
until that point where he finally laid it all out, and even then, as sweet as it was, I
It was.
don't know. If she had picked him and they progressed to the reveal, I was not convinced
Mm-mm.
that one, that they would work out, but that he would genuinely be trying
Yeah.
to be in the relationship with her.
He didn't
No.
have interest. And then he tries to poison her against Jordan, like,
Hmm.
put doubt in her mind about what he looks like and all that stuff. It's funny to me when goes back to the men's lounge. Here goes
Hmm.
Nick, like, you're the most eligible bachelor. And it's just so interesting what maybe men find impressive about other men because this whole time we've been talking about Mike and we're not impressed with him at all. But I guess the other people, the men in the men's suite, maybe were hyping him up.
I will say, Megan said, I think it was in their last date, that it was something in her intuition and in her gut that was
Hmm.
telling her that he just wasn't the right pick. And I don't think either one of these men are, but I was
Ooh,
happy to
okay.
see that she said
It wasn't
no
him.
to him. Girl,
Anybody
listen,
but him,
yeah,
honestly.
listen to your intuition. And
Yeah.
I'm glad she did.
Likewise. All right, and then we have Jordan and Megan. So let's do before the breakup with Mike, the
Okay.
conversation that they had. He comes in really hot. He's like, I'm so glad I'm not in a love triangle.
Wait, okay, pause. Do
What?
you genuinely think that he didn't know that her connection was with Mike?
I think it's what he said. I think he thought Blake was her connection, and when Blake left, he couldn't fathom that she had another connection because most people had two
Mm.
connections. So somebody having
Mhm.
three, I think, is a little bit unprecedented. And so
Okay.
I think it was a little bit shocking to him. Like, oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All
I thought
right.
it was believable. Y'all let us
I,
know what y'all
I
think.
don't know. Part of me felt, because of how many days had gone by, how many
Mm-hmm.
people had went home. I don't know. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought she was also telling him in some previous dates, even after Blake went home, that she was on the fence. And oh, you're not someone I usually would pick, and there's another strong connection. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Yeah, I don't remember her saying
mm,
another strong connection, but I will
mm.
say we don't know when Blake left. Like we don't
Oh yeah, because
we
they
don't know
mix
what
it
they're
up
showing us.
so
Yeah.
much. Yeah, because there was one scene where someone came in, but Brendan was still there, and I was like, wait, he was supposed to have gone home. Production.
Yeah, so I don't know if he was coming in to make his like last effort
Hmm.
to woo her, but yeah, that was a little bit odd.
Okay.
Okay, so Jordan and Megan, so he comes in thinking she doesn't have any other connections, and then she lets him know, no, no, babe, I do. I have somebody else. And, Jordan, I thought he handled it very nicely. He was
He
like,
did.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you in that situation. I really thought it was just us.
Yeah. I for them, because she starts crying. I think this is in the same date where she
Hmm.
brings up again this connection with her dad and Luca both having, type 1 diabetes. I said, what else is there?
Hmm.
I'm not seeing it. You keep going out of your way to remind us this is a guy you would never have picked in the real world.
Hmm.
What else is there other than this connection? And if I were him, that would be a lot of pressure, that because of my child's illness, that's being put on such a pedestal as to why you'd pick me. I'm not agreeing with this logic.
Yeah, I think it's also that she's having a lot of fun with him. She said that when she
Mm,
leaves the pod, she always feels lighter and she's had a good laugh and all that stuff. I
mm,
think the friend vibe is what
okay.
is doing it for her. But I also don't like the way that she keeps bringing up the child. But I get it, it's, especially if she was close to her father. I think you almost can when you have a deceased loved one, and then there's that connection, like you're almost looking for signs that this is it. And so I can fully
Mm,
understand why she's latching onto this. I don't like her referring to herself as being Luca's mom, seeing that he has a whole mom. But I can see why she's latching onto that. Like even during their reveal when she's like, "Oh, thank you, Dad." Like I see why that is such a sentimental point of connection for her.
Yeah, I just feel like Luca, it should be a paid cast member as much as he's being brought up at this point. I mean,
Cut
Tyler
him a
went in the
check.
opposite direction of obviously not letting us know he had any kids, and he had three. And
Mm-hmm.
then now Luca's being brought up so much.
Yeah.
Just focus on your connection with this woman and leave it at that. That's what I want it to be
Yeah.
at this point.
I feel like she brings it up even more than him.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
He can't control it. I mean,
Yeah.
I could appreciate him with the pictures and, saying how much he misses his child. Like, don't act like you're not a father.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's how much weight she's putting
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
So,
So she drops that she loves him, and he says it back. So there was
mhm.
that. And then after the breakup with Mike, they talk, he proposes, and then they have the meetup. What are your thoughts about
Yes.
their meeting up?
So one thing I do want to call out is that, he was just saying that he wants her to be happy, and he specifically said, like, we don't need you to do anything from us. We just want commitment.
Yeah.
Now, as far as this reveal, it was a bit awkward for me.
Really?
Yeah, so they walk out, they're initially smiling, they're kissing, but I don't know if it was shock for him or what it was, but I got this sense of him kind of pulling away from her a bit. And so they kiss, but then he's kind of pulling away. She's like holding on to him. And then, obviously he's going back to get the pictures. And then eventually she asked, like, oh, well, was this what you were expecting? He was like, no, but it's still amazing. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not going to say that he's not attracted to her. There's something about his reaction during the reveal where I'm on the fence with him.
Interesting. I think I was more focused on her reaction because it was clear that Mike had gotten into her head. And so she was
Hmm.
like, "Oh my God, does he look good? Is he look weird?
Hmm.
What's going on?" And so I think she was very pleasantly surprised at what he looked like. Like she seemed
Yeah, I think she's thrilled with how
yeah,
he looks. Yeah.
especially considering how worried she was. And then she said that she loved tattoos, which I remember us talking about in the last few episodes. Like, okay, wait, she got all her tattoos removed. And so this could be an issue, but
Yeah, she
yeah.
was
and,
fine with it.
and then when they were talking about each other's bodies, he was like, "Oh, she either has a something or a
A
wagon."
dumpy is what
I
he
don't know.
said.
What did he say?
I thought he said, oh, she has a dumpy or a wagon.
Are those the same thing?
Is that what a wagon is these days?
I thought a wagon was your behind.
I agree.
Oh, so what's a dumpy? I
I
would assume a dumpy was also maybe that's the Denver slang. If you're from Denver, help us out because we're from the opposite side of the country. We don't know. But
girl.
allegedly, Megan has a wagon. Allegedly. Okay, moving on.
I will say though, when they were sitting, I think having their champagne, he was like, "Oh no, we need you. We need you." And so I don't know.
But he said that after she said, "I'm stepping in to be his mom."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
He
don't
has
like
a
it.
mom.
I know Luca's mom is watching this like, I don't know who she thinks she is.
We need you in what way? I don't know.
Okay, so that was them for episode 5. And then we have Annie and Nick.
Okay.
So after the Brendan conversation, she comes in, she's feeling bad, and he makes her laugh. And, she just thanked him for being vocal about his feelings. And then he proposes.
And then something else she calls out was like, oh, well, thank you for not talking at me and talking to me. I'm like, oh, that felt a little, was that some shade towards Brendan?
Probably because this whole time he thought he was getting through to her and he wasn't. Like he was just
Mm.
saying what he wanted to. But I
Mhm.
thought it was hilarious when Nick walks into the to the men's lounge. He's like, we're engaged. Everybody's like,
Nick is very messy,
He is.
and it's kind of giving me Plan for the Other Community vibes at this point, here and
A lot of
there.
people online are saying, yeah, you remember he had the conversation where there was a period of his life where he was depressed and his mom came and asked him about that. And, I just wonder why specifically that, you know?
Some
Um,
of it, for me, it's some of the mannerisms, a bit of the messiness. How did you not see Brendan sitting there?
Also, it is interesting some of the conversations that he and Annie had about that community. Like,
How would you feel? That's
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
specific.
Yeah, it's just very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Oh, also, when he proposed afterwards, she said yes. He says, "Oh, you give me the confidence. I feel so confirmed." What does that mean?
Why? What do you think it means? Because I want to hear where you're reaching with this.
Because so far he's never struck me as someone who's said that he struggled with confidence or not
Mhm.
feeling sure of himself. So what does
Mm.
it mean? Okay, like now you're with her, you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
this confidence. In fact, he had another option. So I don't know. I'm just like, what does that mean? He says a lot of things where I'm just like, okay, Nick.
Where are you going with that? Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't know. They meet up and
Oh wait, we skipped one thing, and this has nothing to do with Nick, but Edmund crying again
who?
in the Edmund
Oh,
crying again in the men's lounge once Brendan is like kind of sulking about what happened. Moving
okay.
on.
Yeah. All right, so they meet up, Nick and Annie. I don't have much about their meetup. Like, she said he's not what she expected, but he's perfect. And I'm like, sure he is. Whatever, okay.
I I got that he was not what she was expecting, the way he described himself, maybe living in the mountains. I don't know if she had this
The mountain man,
view of
beard
him.
and
Yeah, maybe bigger stature. I'm not sure.
masculine, whatever that.
Yeah, but I also got that she thought he was attractive. He's not a bad looking guy. So I didn't get that she was like ill, but I got like, oh, I could get with this. This is different, but I could get with this.
I don't know. If you're expecting a mountain man and you get somebody who looks like a boy band member, I think that could take you aback a little bit.
Oh yeah, I think she was definitely taken aback, but I think she also could get
Okay,
with it. Yeah.
okay,
Because I didn't get any awkward energy of her not wanting to be close to him or kiss him.
okay,
They were all over each other. So that's what I mean. Like, oh, this wasn't what I expected, but I could get with it.
okay.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, and then and then let's end with Patrick and Casey since we're starting the next episode with them. She said something like, "Oh, well, I might have to put on underwear because I might pee my pants," and I was like, "So you don't usually wear?"
But some
Okay,
people do that.
I
Apparently, that's the
know,
thing to
but
be walking around with no
I guess
underwear.
she told us all her
Um,
business. But before meeting him, she said that, she had doubts about how she'll react to his looks. And that I think that was the only concern really that came up before they did the reveal.
yeah, she says right before they walk out, this will be the greatest comeback story. Once again, you're clearly on here for the wrong reason. Like,
She's producing in her head like what
yeah,
their
she's like, oh,
story
I'm
would
gonna
be.
marry the F out of that guy. Girl,
I haven't been convinced about Casey since she found out he was Asian.
no.
Yeah.
She
Even
tried
before
her
then,
best to
honestly.
mask it, but
She tried her best, but it was just almost too much. Like she overcorrected.
I think for her, as we see this play out, she reeled herself back in to be like, okay, let me push through at least to see what he looks like. And
Yeah.
then, so she got herself together enough just to get to that point.
Yeah.
But it was not real, obviously.
And then, I mean, the reveal happened. I don't have too much about it.
It's extremely awkward. He goes in for a kiss. She puts her face in his neck. We can't really see much. Then eventually They start awkwardly kissing. They go behind the bench.
Okay, so you got all the details. Play by
Yes,
play.
they
Run it.
they awkwardly go off the red carpet behind the bench. He says, "Oh, you're so gorgeous," and they're just like rubbing each other so awkward. I don't know. This goes up there for me as one of the most awkward reveals for Love Is Blind.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, she said something. She said, I finally have someone who looked at me the way he looked at me. I'm like, okay, I guess.
I, and I could understand that. I think if you're an attractive woman, you're used to picking people off looks, very shallow.
Hmm.
Maybe she's used to this dynamic of I look just as good, if not better than you do. So why would I look at you with excitement? Versus I think for her being with someone like Patrick is like he's in awe of her. So
Interesting. Well, I'll
mhm,
tell you what she was in awe of.
that ring.
That ring.
She,
Yes.
she kept looking at it like, ooh, I could do this. I can
Hmm.
make some shake.
So the episode ends though with Casey saying Patrick deserves someone better than her, which I think we all knew. No surprise there. And then we start the next episode with
Episode
Patrick and
6.
Casey.
Lord have mercy.
So, do we start? I think we started with Casey,
Yeah, she's
and
at the hotel. Yeah, at the
she has a
lobby.
little bit of an attitude with the producers, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, she's definitely very snippy. You could tell she just wants to get this out of the way. She's on.
Hmm.
We already know whenever they cut to these scenes of them in the hotel lobby, it's on some foolishness. Someone's acting up.
Yeah, absolutely. And so she's sitting there. Eventually, Patrick comes and she's saying that, she just can't do this anymore. She doesn't want to go to Baja. And he was really nice about it, but he's trying to figure out, okay, so is it that you want to go home? Is it that you're overwhelmed with the TV stuff? Is it a breakup? Like
But
what?
but let's not downplay how much she's obnoxiously crying.
Very much.
Pissing all over him. It's just way too much. I said, Casey, now you know your parents are going to watch this back, and this is what you're up to. She could have just sat there and had the conversation with him. Hey, I'm not looking to go. Her body language and the tears, it was giving all manipulation.
I mean, she was trying to win an Oscar, but did an awful job. I think she was trying to play it up for him and try to let him down easy. But the thing is, Casey, we're adults and you cannot rely on your tears to get you through hard conversations. You need to be woman enough to say, hey, I'm not attracted to you. I'm not interested in continuing the process with you. I am so sorry that I've wasted your time. I have to drop out.
And then just straight up lies to him. It has nothing to do with the way you look.
And they're trying to,
You're trash.
they're trying to pitch it as if I'm like not attracted to you. And I'm like, no, that's not it. Girl, they're recording everything.
And he's even saying, like, okay, well, do you just want to slow down? We don't have to go. Maybe we go back to Denver.
Mhm.
And then, they cut to, I think, her scene by herself. But even aside from that,
Yeah.
when he's like, okay, you could go back to your room, this girl doubles back. She's jumping in his arms all over him.
Yeah.
I said, oh, my Lord.
And it's like, who are you doing that for? Because eventually it's going to catch up to you. I heard a rumor that they never saw each other back home. I mean, obviously, they wouldn't have seen each other. So yeah. Um, the clip of her saying, "Yeah, the attraction just isn't there, and I don't see it growing." I knew she was lying. We all knew you were lying.
And with no tears. My thing is,
Straight
you
face.
got at least she would have been better off saying nothing else because for me that would have been hurtful. We knew you were up
Yeah.
to your shenanigans when he was in front of you, but to actually sit down in front of the cameras, no tears, and just be like and tell the truth, but you can't do it in front of him.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
What is he gonna do? Spank you? Like, girl,
And
just
he was so gracious, better than most. Get off of me. Why?
yeah.
Why are you kissing all over me, getting your tears all over my
And you
face?
have bad intentions for me. Mm. Well, was it the OJs? They smile in your face What's the
Oh,
backstabbers? That's what
and
she
it's
was
so
using.
sad because the way this played out was all his initial fears. In fact, him coming on the show was to maybe
Yeah.
avoid shallow people, but I will say she gave a lot of breadcrumbs. So for Patrick, there's a little bit of accountability on your part
Yeah.
where she was already saying some things that should have been red flags for you.
But like you said, once Annie left, maybe he felt like he had to continue, like see it through with his other
And
connection.
she felt like she wanted to see it through too. Let me at least see what
Yeah.
he looks like and just keep it real. It was because he didn't match what you thought to be attractive.
Yeah.
And even the ring was blinding you to where
And I
you
don't
were,
think he's a bad looking guy, like full
no.
transparency. So it's not like, yeah. Anyway, he has
Mhm.
a nice height because
And he
he's
has a nice build. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so hey,
You need to go find someone else tall, just like him, so they can have tall, athletic kids.
uh
Casey, leave her. Get her out of your mind.
yeah, seriously. Okay. So let's move on to honeymoon, if that's what we
Okay.
could call it.
Okay.
So do you want to start with Edmund and Calabria?
Oh, child. Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay, so we start off. There's a scene where I guess he got her some shoes, which I don't know where he
Mhm.
got them from and when he got them, but they're apparently her right size and everything. Which
Mhm.
I thought that was cute. He got
It was
matching shirts for
thoughtful.
them, whatever.
Mhm.
Very, very. We want to get the positives in there too, so we're not focusing
Mhm.
on.
Yeah, there were some positive moments. I thought that was very thoughtful of him, and that he
Some.
got.
That's the only one I have written
See, your bestie trying to be nice.
down. Okay, I'm
You
like, where
know.
are the positive moments in the room with us? But okay, yes, I did think that was
Mhm.
really neat.
It was.
Um, Okay, we have to be very honest about Calabria. And I think she needs to decide who she is. There were a few moments in this episode where she was like, oh, I'm not like other women. What does that mean? How do you perceive other women? So I think one of the things was, oh, because you got me a gift now, I have to get you a
Mhm.
gift. And I'm not like other women where they feel like, we should just be spoiled. Like, I also want to spoil my men. What real life women do you know? Because every woman who I know, when there is a man in her life who is treating her well, it's like bet. He gets
Matching that energy.
exactly. He gets showered with love and whatever else. And so I'm like, what does that mean? I'm not like other women.
And it almost suggested to me as though she doesn't maybe feel comfortable being on the receiving end, even in the way
Oh,
she described it of like, oh, well, you got me something too. Well, now I know I have to come back even
yeah,
better. I
yeah.
don't know. I think not everything needs to be said. You could just accept the gift and move on.
Thank you. And if you decide to get him something great, like wonderful, but it's okay to say thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in real life a lot of women enjoy spoiling the men who are good to them. So I don't find her unique in that way. Apparently she finds herself unique. But
Yeah,
there
I
was a
think she's made it a point of separation. And he co
which
signed it here and there, like,
why do you
oh,
need to do that? Why do you even need to compare yourself with other women? What do you think it does
because
to
what
set you
it
apart?
does, I think in her mind, is to establish a point of differentiation to pick her. You should pick me versus the other women who don't do those things, who won't reciprocate and give love and be thoughtful. I'm better than them. That's what I got.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, in this experiment, right? You've already been picked. Why are we continuing that? Girl, you got it. You have him. He's in Baja with you. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't have understood it even before she got picked. I think just because you get picked, that doesn't mean someone's gonna treat you properly. Like you could stand above in your mind all other women and still get treated like trash. So there's just no real benefit to this type of rhetoric, in my opinion.
Just be in your relationship and show up and focus on that.
Just it's really very simple.
Leave everybody else out of it. And what was interesting is later on, not to jump ahead, she brought up how she doesn't care what people think and
Mm-hmm.
comparison and all that. So I get just all over the place with her.
Okay, sorry. Yes, thank you for bringing me back because that's what I was saying. She needs to pick a struggle. Like in one breath, she's saying things like, "Oh, I can match you 50-50, or I could be the breadwinner, I could be this." And then in the next breath, she's like, "Oh, but I don't want to always have to do XYZ. I want to be soft." Well, if you want some softness, stop acting like you're his competition. Like there are multiple ways to be someone's partner or someone's equal, and it's not just, oh, he can arm wrestle, so I need to be able to arm wrestle too. Like each person should be able to have their strengths and be confident in their strengths and what they offer. And it doesn't mean that everything he's good at, you need to be good at too. Like she just needs to I just need some refinement from her.
Oh yeah, and I think we see it with the whole sneaker and gift giving, and
Yeah.
then followed up with this whole, bug in the hotel room of, oh,
Yeah.
what, you're not gonna kill a bug, and he's just like, or we could just catch it and let it free. I'm getting some initial thoughts of some areas of unnecessary confrontation. The bug just doesn't have to be in here, whether you kill it, whether you scoop it up and let it outside because you think it's a living organism, fine. I just don't want to be sleeping with it. I don't know. I'm getting just kind of unnecessary. It's like, uh,
Yeah, was this the time where she was saying like, oh, so if a guy tried to like if a guy tried to run up on me,
so that was after the helicopter ride. So they go on the
Okay.
helicopter ride. They have this lunch date, and she reiterates in that conversation too how she wants to be able to spoil her man,
Yeah.
and she says she can be a provider but she also wants to be, well, no, she can be a protector but she also wants to be protected. And his response in that was, I want to be able to respect your independence. And she reiterates like, well, I don't always want to have to be independent. So once again, there's this vacillating back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
We kind of just need you to maybe pick a side. And then she brings up the scenario of, oh, we're in the club, a man grabs my arm and is disrespecting me, and won't let me go. What you gonna do?
Which how many times have you been in that situation? I just want to know.
In my
Can we
whole
take,
life, one time.
okay, can we take a poll? So for me, never. So
Yeah.
I just want to know how realistic this is because you're trying to test him based off of something that would rarely even happen.
If at all, like honestly, like,
Also,
are you in the club in your late 20s, 30s? I mean, this happened, I'm like 21 years old.
yeah.
So would you be in the club? So I don't know. He's like, in so many words, I would try to remove us from the situation.
Yeah.
And for her, that wasn't satisfactory. And so she goes around and around and is like, okay, well, he's buff, or what if he isn't buff? Girl,
I think just her saying, "Oh, I can be a protector." You don't have to be all things to everybody. Like if you want to be protected, just say, I want to be protected. You don't now have to be like, well, I'm a protector, so I want a protector. You don't have to be everything. You don't have to be everything that you expect your partner to be. And I know that's like a little controversial because people are, yeah, I think there are certain things where you should be equally yoked, right? But I'm just saying, like, if you're not a protector and he is, that is okay. Like, because I think the one thing with people is if you if you approach a situation where you're expecting little from somebody, they're going to give you even less than the little you expected. And that's what I'm seeing here. It's where she's like, "Oh, well, I don't require this much. I just require this." And it's like, "Okay, if this is all you require, you're probably going to get even less than that." Like,
I and for me, I think a more mature way to have this conversation, and maybe this is something they should have talked about in the pods, is
hmm,
how do you handle conflict?
mm-hmm,
You know, in a scenario where there could be physical harm, like what would be your default reaction? And so for her, she says, I would be mad at you when we got home if you handled it by getting security or just walking away. And I get wanting to understand how a person handles conflict. At the same time, you giving these kind of bogus scenarios and then feeling a way that he doesn't react or respond in the way that you would expect. I don't necessarily think that that's fair. And in fact, to me, the answer he gave, now he was like, oh, but I'm a nice person. That aside,
Yeah.
the answer he gave was fair of, hey, let's remove ourselves. The way people are pulling out guns these days, why would you stand in the club and fight somebody and then
You want
now
me to catch an assault charge or be injured like just because somebody bumped you? Absolutely.
people aren't fist fighting anymore? Those days are over. People are pulling out weapons, killing innocent people that don't even have anything to do with anything. So I don't even think his answer was bad.
No.
So,
But, she's just a different person than him, so
hmm
maybe she wants somebody who is going to beat up, and that's just not who you got out of the pod. So,
she wants a more aggressive person.
and that's the thing. If you want that, pursue that. But nothing about Edmund ever gave aggressive.
Why did you choose him? Not nothing about him has given that ever.
And not only did she choose him, but she was like, oh, I'm willing to overcompensate for the things that he's not. Okay, now, well, guess what? If you want aggression in certain situations, you've picked someone who's not going to give you that. Now you got to be the aggressive. But like, I
Girl.
just think she's setting herself up for failure.
Oh yeah.
And I don't like that for her. I think
It's not
she's,
the right fit as well.
it never
All
was.
throughout this episode with them, I see her trying to course correct and coach him into being something that he's not. It's giving parent child
It's
relationship.
Alexis and Justin from Married at First Sight San Diego. That's this dynamic, but she willfully went into it.
Mhm.
And I just can't I don't appreciate that.
Mm. So do you
And
want to jump to, because I think for them it comes back to them after the party.
after the party. So I think the only people who we need to talk about before the party would be Joe and Madison.
Okay.
So they're at the pool. She talks about having a hard time seeing in low light. And, you could tell Joe isn't 100% feeling her. Like, you could tell that from the
Oh
reveal.
yeah, I don't think he's attracted to her.
No. And
Mm.
so then, of course, the producers asked. I know they're sick of these producers, but he said in his one-on-one with them, he is into thinner women. And I think she's sensing that because she keeps asking for reassurance from him.
Yes, she's not letting it go. And for
Mm-mm.
her at this point, I know it's a process. I wish she would just remove herself. Don't
Mm.
subject yourself to continue in this process with this man who
Mm-hmm.
clearly isn't attracted to you. And
Mm-hmm.
I think because of his immaturity or maybe his age or whatever, he's not willing to have that hard conversation.
Yeah.
But if we can tell, she can tell. In the pool, even I think when she was getting in the pool, he didn't help her when she like slipped. It was like, huh.
Yeah, he's also I never realized that people still use the word hot like that. Like it feels like I'm back in 2004. Yeah, you're hot. You're not hot. Oh, do you think I'm hot? Ha ha hot. Like, I'm sorry. Did we get transported to
It's,
Paris Hilton world?
it's Denver, and remind me to tell you a story about my trip to Denver, and like it felt like I was traveling back in time. We'll talk about that later.
Really? Okay, I've been once. I didn't meet any Denver people. It was
Yeah,
winter. It was cold. I just went for what I went for and came back.
yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Huh. Okay.
Okay.
So then maybe we have the party.
So I want to call out how in the pool she's trying to have this conversation with him about this disconnect he keeps talking about.
Hmm.
And she's like, there's no disconnect for me. And at this point, it's the first night of their vacation. And I'm like, okay, you clearly aren't attracted to her. She can sense it as well. You've told the producers, don't sleep with her.
Somebody somewhere said they didn't spend the night. I don't know if it was their first night or the night after their argument, but you know how stuff just keeps coming out on the internet.
So we find out that they do end up sleeping together.
That
And
first
for
night?
me, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's where I had a problem with it. Okay, you don't have the guts to say you're not attracted, but then you sleep with her. And then on her, why'd you sleep with him?
well,
Girl,
because she's attracted to him.
I
And maybe she
know.
thinks that'll heal the disconnect.
Well,
But
clearly on their boat ride, it doesn't.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't. I'm surprised that anybody slept with anybody, to be very honest with you. I just, nobody even seemed well enough matched. Like,
But you know, these people are, held hostage in this
yeah,
camp. They're
yeah,
released on vacation, a bunch of alcohol.
yeah.
So it's a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. But
Mhm.
on their sailboat date,
Yeah.
she says, like, oh, well, you never say you love me. I always have to say it
Say it
first,
first.
unless we're being intimate. And she's really onto the fact that he's struggling. And I just kind of am at the point where I'm like, okay, girl, don't keep begging this man to come around to you.
You know, it's always easier for us as the viewers to be like snap out of it than it is for
Mm.
them. Anyway,
But she said she says she wants to feel like enough. And she said last night she didn't. She felt sick. I said, wow.
like
Joe, that
Joe is an
is
interesting character, and even the way he was showing out at the pool party, I just felt like I mean, Edmund's immature, but he's not the only one.
oh, this season is full of them. And with her too, she's kind of giving me Megan Fox vibes. What was her name?
Chelsea, yeah.
Chelsea vibes, where it's like, okay, you sense it, follow your intuition, and don't
Hmm.
spend the rest of this season fishing for compliments from this man.
Yeah, yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah.
hard to watch. Okay.
But it is the first day, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully
Oh,
she's what?
so really quick before we jump to the party, let's talk
Yeah.
about Anton and Allie. They just have this
Okay.
quick scene on the
Yeah.
balcony where they talk about, he lets her know, like, oh, I spent 5 bands on a ring. She was like, oh, only that? She was like, you
Yeah.
could have did 10. I said, oh.
And he said, wrong guy. It's not me. And I hate, yeah. It comes up a few other times too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I hate this for them.
What were y'all talking about in the pods?
We'll never know because the editors don't want us to see.
Yeah. So that was all I had for them. And then Jordan and Megan,
I
they
didn't
just
have
have this
anything
quick
for them.
scene where they're on the patio. They're talking a lot about his tattoos and his body.
Yeah.
I think she's really into him physically. And they
Hmm.
say that they didn't get much sleep that night. So
Okay. Yeah. And then, I mean, Nick and Annie, I just feel like they don't really talk about anything and they're still not talking about anything. So,
the one thing she does keep saying is how she's scared of nothing. What Nothing could go wrong. Everything is right.
so that's the first thing I have at the pool party. She's like, oh, yeah, Nick and I are pretty much the same. I'm like, I don't get that at all.
Are they the same?
Y'all better stop. If that man is not claiming his anyway.
Anyway.
So yeah. Oh, I also put down Megan is feeling Jordan physically. Everybody was
Mhm.
bragging on their physical relationships. And the
Mhm.
only people who didn't sleep together were Calabria and Edmund, which comes up in the worst way later on. But she says that she's going to try to wait for their wedding day. And then you fast forward to like, or then they flash to the boys' conversation or the guys'
Mhm.
conversation. And Edmund saying, well, I have to sleep with her before the wedding day. It has to be like
Mhm.
once he finds out everybody else sleeps together. And Anton is saying to him, like, I mean, if she's not interested in that, like it all depends on your situation. Like I wouldn't rush
Mhm.
it if that's not something she wants.
Yeah. 4 weeks. And you could say no, she could say no.
First first of all, everybody's gonna be a no in my opinion. So all the people who
Yeah.
have slept together, um, yeah, that's gonna be the end. And then there's this weird moment in the pool party where Edmund goes over and he's giving Calabria a foot massage, which is
Doing
everything
too
he does is,
much.
yeah, over the top and unnecessary in front of everybody.
Not just a foot massage, she's also licking her
Licking.
feet
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
sunscreen on. I is it a character? Is there something else going on here?
People in our
Regardless,
comments were saying they think this is really him, and someone said I think he like borrowed from a from a bunch of Spike Lee
oh
characters, like
yeah.
from
Yeah.
like what is it called? Do the Right Thing.
But regardless, I think Netflix saw him and thought like, oh, this would make for great TV. At the same time, Calabria, even from the pods, you should have picked on that this guy's not ready for marriage. This just wasn't going to be the right fit. Y'all are not compatible. Like
Yeah. No matter what, it's too much.
mm,
Like I guess she's trying to be accepting of who he is and all those things, and I can appreciate that. But you can be accepting of people and they not be your life partner.
mhm. Is she accepting though? Because I get a lot of coaching, redirecting. Oh, be careful of what you say and how you say it. Even in the conversation where Annie was talking about her
Mm.
breakup with Brendan, she was like, "Well,
Yeah.
wait, don't say it like that. Be mindful of the words you use." And it's
Hmm.
giving parent-child, teacher-student
Yeah.
relationship. And maybe she's comfortable being in that lead role, but then on the flip side, you can't
She
be like, "But you need to be the leader too."
Yeah, she's not comfortable with it, and that's why she's always back and forth. Like, oh, I don't mind doing it, but you need to know the reason why you feel like he needs to is because you do mind doing it. You do mind being that way, and it's okay to admit it. She's so stuck on not being like other women that she doesn't want to just admit, hey, I would like you to step into this role. It's okay. Other women are not villains. I promise you. If you're
No.
like the rest, if you're like other women, it really is not the end of the world.
Mm-mm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
but yeah.
so we talked about so one other thing at this mixer before
Hmm.
things go crazy is Megan once again talking about material things and how Jordan needs to get a Cartier bracelet. And he just
Oh
kind of
yeah,
laughed it off and was like, one day.
because Nick is
She,
like, let me be your dealer.
and girl,
Even when they first got to the resort, and she asked Jordan,
oh
she's like, "Have you
yeah,
been to a place like this?" He says, "No, never." She goes, "Well, get used to it."
are you going to be paying for it?
Yeah,
Then
girl,
don't
probably.
be salty about it. Be comfortable in it. Don't feel the way
Yeah.
that you're having to,
Right.
support y'all's more lavish lifestyle.
Yeah.
Something gives me though she wouldn't be comfortable with it because she was also saying with Mike how she wants someone to provide. Girl,
Hmm.
there's a few women.
Who was saying one thing and then turning around and saying the other, and it's like,
It's
which
almost
one
like
is
they're
it?
afraid to lean into saying, "No, I need you to be the provider, the leader, the whatever." I don't know what's
And
going
if
on
you
here.
don't, like, here's my thing, because if you're okay with being the provider or whatever,
Mhm.
by all means, just stand 10 toes in it. Like, we're too grown to not be ourselves authentically. So, if you're okay with it, be okay with it. If you're not okay with it, don't be okay with it. Like, just say whatever position it is that
Was
you
it
hold.
was it Maria who was from Morocco in the Love Is Blind UK first season? She was like, "I'm
Yeah.
looking for a protector, provider. I want to be able to stay home with my kids. I
Yes.
don't want to get a nanny." Like,
Hmm.
I loved how she leaned into that and was not apologetic for it.
I did too. The only thing I hated was that she picked a man who was so against it. That's all that I hated. But yeah,
Square peg, round hole.
yeah. Okay. So that when things get crazy, there was all this like weirdness with Joe and Annie. I respect, I respect Annie where she was like, "Cut it out. Like I'm not interested in that." She was so annoyed with him, and then Jordan too was playing into it. Like they just had this weird immature energy,
Back
and,
and forth, yeah.
and at that point I was like, okay, maybe they just had too much to drink. And
Oh, 1,000%. I
yeah,
in within like a few minutes, I was like, "Oh, these boys are drunk.
yeah.
White boy wasted."
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I did see what Madison was referring to where she's like, every time she tried to communicate with Joe, it was just clear, like, I want to be here in Baja, but I'd rather be turning up with the boys than trying to deepen a connection with you.
And I think for them, it was like their first time. So they were in the pods, then
Hmm.
they had the reveal. They've been with their significant other who's still kind of like a stranger. So I think for the guys, they took this as a, oh, we letting our hair down, we're doing too
Yeah.
much. And for
Back
the
and forth.
women, it's like, okay, well, you're still here with me on a couple's date, so to speak.
Yeah.
So act accordingly. So
Yeah.
for me, once I realized how drunk they were, like if you're further in a relationship, you would just gather your partner and be like, "Partner's over. I mean, party's
Yeah.
over. We're headed back to the room, baby. We're done. You're not embarrassing
Mm,
yourself on camera, and me
yeah.
too." But for them, they couldn't do that. So I think for Madison, maybe she wasn't picking up on how drunk she was because she also doesn't know him like that.
Hmm.
I
I
think
think
she
it
kept
was, yeah.
trying to interact with him and was getting frustrated. And I'm like, girl, he drunk. Let him go back to the room.
Even if he wasn't drunk, I don't think he would have been trying to give her the time of day.
Oh, well, yeah, because he's not into her.
It's her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was really the gist of the party. Like all the partners are telling their person, "You're annoying me." Like Megan said to
Oh, yeah.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "You're pissing me off." And I think she did it in as classy of a way as you could have done it. Like she didn't put him on blast. She whispered it to him. It was like, "You're really
Mm-hmm.
annoying me, like acting like this." Even though her face doesn't move, you could tell she was annoyed. Like Megan has cried, she has laughed, she has done everything in her face. That's just insane. It's so funny to watch. But anyway,
Um, Real quick though,
yeah.
so Megan in this girls chat, I want to talk about the girls chat when they were
Hmm.
all together. So Megan lets us know again Jordan is never anyone she would ever go for. I'm
I know.
really over people doing this.
Me too.
Once you've chosen your person, especially after the reveal, stop
Hmm.
saying stuff like that. Men
Hmm.
and women.
Hmm.
Feel how you feel, but once you've chosen them and the reveal has happened, don't say it again because
Hmm.
I could see that
Fair.
rubbing anyone the wrong way. Uh, the girls are sharing if they had sex or not. Madison, which I don't understand, can't wait to let us know that she had amazing sex with.
I think they are lying because all of them were like, "Yeah, it was just the best." Okay, I don't buy it. With these,
I
y'all, y'all do realize we see the men y'all are with. Buy anybody's story.
so yeah, I Madison, yeah, you could have kept that to yourself.
I don't understand the appeal of putting all your business out there. I don't know if it's to seem like you're advanced as a couple,
Oh yeah,
you're
you're
getting along
close.
better than
Mhm.
other. Yeah,
No,
like
Madison, we're watching the footage back of you saying how you didn't feel desired and how you didn't feel well.
yeah. You felt what did she say?
She
Sick?
felt sick. You only say you love me in certain situations.
Why are you
Girl.
putting on? I don't understand putting on for anybody,
So speak
especially some women you just met 10 days ago.
right. And so let's circle to Madison, maybe and Joe
Yeah.
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have heard like double like two different opinions on this.
Okay.
Um One is she's doing too much. She's being too much like Chelsea. Like he's drunk. Let him sleep it off, whatever. But the other, which is the one that I share, is that he was a little bit incoherent. Like I don't know. It just seemed like there might be more going on with Joe. Like after he drank and went for his nap, something else happened before she came back. Um I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody of any type of substance anything, but it just seemed very off how he was.
So
Yeah.
I'm in agreement up until the last part. I think he was just really drunk. I
Mm,
think she kind of needed to leave him alone until he slept it off. Girl,
yeah.
why keep going back? You know this man is drunk. You never been around a drunk person before? Leave them alone to not get yourself annoyed. Why you can't even have a conversation with them. So I didn't understand. I understand her coming back. Oh, you're good. Get him some water. Why are you trying to
Yes.
have a whole conversation with him? Now, what I will say is, part of me felt like Joe was putting on because he didn't want to be bothered with her.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I think he slept it off the way he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I think he just didn't want to be bothered with her.
Oh my
He knew he
God.
was probably still hungover just a little bit because it's still within a couple hours, right?
Mm.
But I don't think he was so out of it. He was putting on to throw her off just because he didn't want feel like being bothered with her, but she kept pressing and was like, "Oh, you're drunk and you're this and you're that," and
So
I think he was doing the most.
maybe you're right, and she didn't catch on that he was drunk when he was leaving the party. I will say he seemed far more coherent leaving the party
Hmm.
than he did
So
at
so did
that
he go
point.
back to the room and drink more?
Maybe, but it
Either
just
he
seemed like
either he drank that much more combined with something else, or he didn't and he was legit putting on so she would leave him alone because he don't want to be bothered.
yeah. I don't know. It was very weird. I do think yeah, she could have left it alone like a little bit sooner. I think she
Mm.
was genuinely confused and maybe didn't realize he was that turned up when he left the party. So it just seemed weird that he wasn't making sense.
The way that she's like, "Oh, you're all freaked out," and then she starts crying. I'm like, "Girl, just leave this man alone and go get your rest."
You know she wasn't going to do that. That's her fiance. Because you've been in the game a long time. You know how to handle these situations. These new girls. This is her first experience,
The
her
way
first
I would have
rodeo.
taken my shower, got me a cup of tea, ordered some room service, turned me on a nice movie or a show, and went to sleep.
Oh
You're
my god.
alive. You're good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think something was going on. Like she was trying to figure out something that wasn't meant to be figured out,
Mm-mm.
in the moment. All right,
Okay.
and then I guess we end with
Calabria and Edmund.
yeah. And so they're in couples do this all the time. And I get it. I get why they do it. But they're
Hmm.
talking about who's the most like advanced couple, who has the most solid foundation, who they could see saying yes to each other, which I think is just such a pointless exercise at this
It's
point.
foreshadowing. They always pick the couple. Remember when it was Marissa and Ramses and how that.
I I liked both of them individually. Let's not
Oh,
let's
me
not
too.
rehash that.
Me
But yeah.
too. But remember how it was them where they were like all in love and doing
Mhm.
whatever, and they had a lot to say about the other couples.
Remember when there was Ikechi and Amen
Them.
at the
Yeah.
honey?
So maybe they shoot the same scene with all the couples, and based off how the rest of the season plays out, that's who
That's
they
who they show.
include.
It must be. It
Must
must
be.
be.
Yep. Okay.
So they had that conversation about who's the strongest couple, and surprise, surprise, they think they are.
And he rubbing her feet again. God.
They think they're the strongest. I don't mean to laugh at them, but it was a little funny that they thought they were the strongest couple. Not that they're. I mean, not that there are any strong couples this season.
And then they get into this back and forth about caring about if people think they aren't. She's like, you shouldn't care if no one's paying your bills and putting food on your table. You don't care about them. Girl.
Anyway, then he starts to cry and feel away because she hasn't slept with him. And not only has
Oh
she not
my
slept with
God.
him, but she talked about how previously she's had one night stands. He's like, "Oh, I'm giving you my all," which
Is this your all?
I don't know that you could give somebody your all within 2 days. I just,
This is your all.
I don't even know what your home looks like. I don't even have your phone number.
So her initial reasoning of, hey, I'd feel more comfortable with waiting until after the wedding or
Yeah.
we decide if we're both a yes to be intimate. I was fine with that. 4 weeks, it is what it is. It's your body, and I could get with you not being comfortable to sleep with a stranger. He clearly felt a way about it and felt like they should be intimate before they say yes. But then she follows up with, oh, well, sex just means more to you than it does to me. And I've had these one night stands, but I didn't care about them. And he feels like, well, I'm doing all this and I'm already engaged to you. Like, what does that mean? I wish she would have just left it at her first answer.
And I didn't understand what she meant by it means more to him than to her.
Because, well, I agree. It's confusing, but I
Okay.
think in her mind, I have sex with people more quickly if I don't care about them versus
Okay. So
if
she
I
did say it
do.
hadn't happened in like a year or over a year or something like that. So maybe she's just turned over a new leaf and it is more meaningful to her. So that's why I was like, okay, wait, what?
I I wish she would have just left it at I feel comfortable being intimate with you if we both say yes or no. Uh I feel like she does a lot of examining of him.
Hmm.
Like it means more to me than to you, and this is how you should or shouldn't feel, and you shouldn't care about people. I don't know. I just get a lot of examining energy of
Like
him.
she's his therapist or something. I he said that he's always the nice guy and I'm like, okay. I guess so that means because you're waiting and not pressuring her or because like so that makes you a nice guy? No, it just makes you a human who respects boundaries. Like I don't think
I think in his scenario, he's like, these guys who don't do anything, supposedly don't mean anything, get this intimate part of you. And then the guy who's willing to, following her logic, like, well, shouldn't you be more open to being intimate with someone who's willing to commit to you? But it's flawed because y'all could both say no. Uh, it was a mess.
it was a mess, and I hated that we ended on this note. I hate that we see him crying over,
Again.
over a grown woman not wanting to engage with him in that way. I don't know. I think Love Is Blind is just disappointing right now.
And he says he's stuck on her having one night stands. Y'all are not the right fit.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lack of emotional maturity on both sides with them.
Oh, absolutely. They both need to grow, and in different ways. Like I
Oh,
think, I don't want to. I wouldn't compare her to him,
mm-mm.
but yeah, they both have a lot of growing up to do. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on Love Is Blind in general this season. I think they have given us an awful year of this show. I think Love Is Blind
Except for
UK
UK. Except for
was their
UK.
saving it.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all watch Love Is Blind France, but I saw some of it and I couldn't even finish it because of how competitive people were with one another and then how mean people were to each other. I just thought it was a mess and not enjoyable to watch. So yeah, I'm okay with continuing with the UK seasons in the future, but the US seasons are on thin ice. We'll see what they give to us
The
in the
spring.
spring. Yeah, if they're
Mhm.
like Love Is Blind Idaho,
No, they won't be Idaho. It may be like San Diego, Seattle, or something. It'll be
we
a,
could probably find out.
yeah, big
Yeah.
city. Yeah.
All right, but let us know in the comments what you thought, and we'll be back next week with the next two episodes.
Bye.
Bye.